Coach, tell us about today's practice and what you guys got established so far this spring when you're ready for next week.
Yeah, it's been a very competitive spring, much like we thought it would be. Really, both sides of the ball. There's a lot of experience coming back and talent coming back, and so it's a battle. Everybody kind of has their moments and their times, but I think overall I see improvement, and that's the big thing about spring. You're not getting ready for an opponent. You're really focused primarily just on yourself and improving individually, and then within your segment, and obviously on the offensive side of the ball. But through 7 practices, I've seen improvement. Guys are working hard. It's very important to them. We're by no means ready to go play, but I really like where we are after 7 practices. Next Wednesday will be the first true test, first full scrimmage where everybody's off the field, and they got to go out and compete, and we'll see. We'll be able to judge a lot more after Wednesday.
Are those 3 young guys pushing Kelly? Are they providing a challenge for him, or is he still ahead of them?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's very competitive. I know everybody'd like to kind of know if there was somebody pulling ahead, but really those guys, number one, they're getting a lot of reps.
Sure.
All those guys, Kelly's improving from where he was last year. I felt like he's had a really good 7 practices, but really all the young guys behind him have been showing good progress. They have their moments. They all made mistakes and thrown balls where they're not supposed to throw them, but they also all made some really good plays. And for us, what we're looking for is being able to have command of the offense, being able to flip the protections, put the running back where he's supposed to be, communicate with the offensive line, and be able to kind of run everything out there on the field. And that's really the biggest thing for those younger guys, is getting comfortable doing that. And I've seen progress, and all 4 of those guys are talented guys, and I think that's really what this scrimmage is all about, letting those guys go out and compete, get everybody off the field, let them see live bullets coming at them, and hopefully we'll be able to be able to see some things from that.
When you said last Wednesday that you was really looking for more consistency from the receivers, guys like T and DeAndre, have you seen that more of that in the last couple practices?
Yeah, number one, they're getting challenged. Those guys on the corner, Trayvon Mullen, AJ, and Mark, have done an excellent job, and very physical, and that's exactly what we need. The 2 guys that we lost are the outside positions, where your releases and all that are the most challenging. And I felt like last Wednesday, the DBs got the best part of the wideouts, and I told the guys after practice Wednesday we were going to find out what this group was made of, come out Friday and Monday, and I've been really pleased with the progress of those guys in the 2 practices, and that tells me what I already knew about that group, that they're competitors and it's important to them. And the biggest thing is just that maturity and the growth. Looking at all the great wideouts that we've had here outside of Sammy, all of those guys, really there's a maturation process that took place. Thinking about a guy like Mike Williams coming in as just kind of a long athletic guy, and really having to learn how to be physical and attack releases and attack DBs and not run away from them. That's kind of where the process that T and DeAndre are going through right now. But I think the last 2 days have been their best 2 days. And really like TJ Chase is a guy that has really taken that next step this spring. He made a really big play in a red zone segment today, good on good. And also really pleased where Amari Rogers has done really well, and DK continues to play fast, and he's shown up. He's probably made as many competitive one-on-one plays down the field as any guy we've had so far this spring, so that's great to see from a young guy.
Is Trevor starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, and have you had any of those moments where the arm talents really started to shine through?
Yeah, he has a lot of those moments. There's no question the ability and talent that he has. I think for him it's just, number one, he's tested it a few times, tested his arm a few times, and he found out there's some throws that he can't get away with at this level that maybe he could get away with in high school. And it's kind of like my 2.5-year-old daughter Savannah. They got to kind of touch that hot plate before they believe it. And that's kind of where Trevor is right now. Every day he's kind of testing it, and sometimes he makes the play, and sometimes he gets intercepted. So that's just kind of but that's what spring is about. That's what learning is about, is kind of finding, the timing and when to make that throw, when to check it down, when to throw it away. But he's definitely gotten better, and he's doing very well.
Out of all the early enrollees, the same thing, the learning curve, what's it showing you right now? Which ones are picking it up? You said DK is.
Yeah.
Are the guys that are swimming right now?
Yeah. I think overall as a group, it's probably the best group of early enrollees that we've had, maybe since Deshaun and Artavis and that group. Number one, just physically, they don't look like they're supposed to be in high school. They look like they belong. It's kind of fun to have some of these guest coaches, college coaches, high school coaches, asking about some of these guys, and they think they've been on our team for a year or two, so that stands out. But I think they've done a good job of trying to keep up. I mean, we're coaching and teaching at a pretty fast tempo because we have a lot of older guys. Those younger guys are just forced to try to catch on as fast as they can. Jackson Carmen's the guy that's shown flashes. There's no doubt he's going to be a great player before it's all over. Obviously, the closer that you get to the ball from a position-wise, the longer it takes. And offensive linemen, they're really close to the ball. There's a lot of things going on. So that and quarterback are probably the biggest transitions. But there's no doubt in some one-on-one situations, Jackson has done a really good job and has a lot of promise.
How excited are you about Kendrick in the return game?
Yeah, I think that'll be something to see in the scrimmage. Out here in practice, whenever it's just kind of, on air and stuff like that, he's caught the ball very well. Punt return is one of those things that's either natural for you or it's not. And if it's not, you really got to spend a lot of time working on it. For DK and most guys, unfortunately, coming out of high school, it's not natural for them. And one of the reasons is because in high school, very few times can a punter consistently punt the ball 40 yards where you can catch it. You go watch these high school games, 90% of the punts, they hit, roll, and the guy picks it up and runs 80 yards for a touchdown. So actually having to stand underneath the ball and catch it, it's the first time they've had to do it. DK in practice does it very, very naturally, probably the most natural since Sammy as far as being able just to catch a punt. So I really like that. Now there's a next step whenever we all get off the field and he's got those big guys coming down, attacking him and all those type of things, to be able to see if he has the concentration to stay in there. That's kind of the next step. But I like what I've seen so far from him in the punt return game.
Looks like Oklahoma State was in to watch.
Yeah, they are. They're a staff that we've visited with off and on really over the last 7 or 8 years.
No, it's not specifically the position group you're looking at, but have you seen anything from Travis Etienne, if he's improved in his pass blocking, or what different do you notice about him?
Yeah, pass blocking against our defense is a challenge every day. So it's kind of hard to tell if you're getting better or not. But no, there are times, but again, the situations has been very controlled up to this point, where there's a quick whistle on the quarterback and those type of things. Whenever we get to the scrimmage and everybody's off the field and coaches aren't out there coaching and all those type of things, that stuff will be able to show up a little bit better. But yes, I've seen progress from him and Feaster in that area.
Jeff, Coach Venables not known to be very conservative when it comes to what he does, even early in spring. How much does that help, particularly quarterback evaluation?
Yeah, it's very frustrating while you're going through it, but it's very helpful at the same time. I mean, really, for the offensive line, the first day of install, they're going to see every front that they're going to see in a season in the first 4 periods of practice. And the same thing for the quarterbacks. And there's a lot of exotic coverages and things. And so really, you're getting a whole season of defenses in spring ball. And, for all of our guys, that helps us. Like I said, it's tough while they're learning, and there's some bad plays out there because of it, because we offensively aren't really coaching specifically to the defenses we're going to see every day. We're really just coaching our offense and having to kind of adjust to what they do defensively. So when you're game planning against a defense that does these things, then you spend a little bit more time coaching that. So there's some bad plays out there from time to time, but there's no doubt that it makes us better. And from a schematic standpoint, it makes us better. And then the guys we're playing against, we're not going to play anybody that has a better, front four for sure than what we're seeing every day.
Now the big question is, did you lose your voice because of the Blake Shelton concert the other night?
No, it was definitely not at the concert. lost it out here.
Were you next to Garrett Williams when Blake
I
embarrassed him?
I was about 10 feet from him. That was kind of
That was hilarious.
that was pretty good. Yeah.